Everyone, this is Rupal Gautam, a first generation college student of Bachelor's in Business Administration at Presidential Graduate School. And today I present the strategic plan for revitalizing the company's profitability in the markets there. We're a mid to large size manufacturer of electromechanical devices for the medical field, operating on two coasts with about 100 employees. Previously, we enjoyed success, but the economic headwinds have reduced and it has affected our profit and the market presence. This presentation outlines a comprehensive, ethically grounded strategy to rebuild our competitive position, drive innovation, and ensure the sustainable growth of the company. Well, let us begin with the present reality of the company. We're experiencing a decline in both profit and the markets here. The economic slowdown has reduced demand for the medical devices, and at the same time, our operating costs, including labor, materials, and overheads, have steadily increased. In the early years, we saw a steady growth and a strong foothold in the medical device market, which shows that our core business remains fundamentally sound. This suggests the decline may be cyclical or structural, but not fatal. Given this, we need decisive strategic action now, both to defend what remains and to position ourselves for the recovery and for the growth. Well, the strategy I would recommend is a combination of both the offensive and the defensive elements. Offensively, will drive the innovation, aiming to be the first mover in the new or niche medical device segment. Defensively, what we can do is we can optimize the cost, improve the operational efficiency, and retain the existing customers of ours. This dual approach allows us to protect our baseline performance while, reaching for the new growth opportunities. A balanced path that is especially valuable in uncertain economic times. Well, now, in order to bring this strategy into real life, I would propose four key actions. One, first mover advantage. We'll develop and launch advanced electromechanical devices for specialized medical applications. For example, consider Zenko Medical. This company disrupted the traditional surgical device manufacturing by introducing a completely disposable polymer-based spinal surgical system instead of reusable steel instruments. This did not only reduce the manufacturing and sterilization cost, but also addressed different risks like the infection from inadequately sterilized metal tools. By similarly producing niche, differentiated medical device, we can also position ourselves as innovators rather than commodity manufacturers. Second one, outsourcing non-core manufacturing. Will outsource certain non-core processes, example, repetitive assembly, kit preparation, logistic to specialized contract manufacturers. This reduces fixed overhead and allows our internal team to focus on value-added work like the research and development department and the quality control. This approach, mirrors trends observed across medical technology. A recent industry review note that outsourcing, lean manufacturing, and supply chain rationalization can cut factory overhead significantly, sometimes even by 20 to 30%. Another action plan that I have is the strategic alliance with the hospitals and research institutions. Collaborating with the clinical institutions for co-development, testing and early adoption of the devices would help to ensure that the product is market fit. It speeds the validation and improves the credibility. Many leading medical technology firms have successfully used alliances to expand capabilities beyond in-house research and development. Another one would be the merger and acquisition. We should evaluate acquisition of smaller niche competitors or innovative startups to accelerate growth or fill gaps in our product line. This strategy is widely used in our industry. For instance, research covering 2018 to 24 shows numerous merger and acquisition deals in the medical device sector, proving that acquisition remains a very highly effective route to business model innovation and the market expansion. Historically, the companies like Medtronic expanded product range and geographical footprint by acquiring companies like, the companies that had the complementary strength that enabled tighter integration of the offerings and the economies of scale. Well, now to understand why our profitability and market share suffered, we can apply the framework of Porter's five forces. Threat of new entrants seems to be low because the medical device manufacturing requires very high technical expertise and research and development investment. It's not an easy process. This protects us from the cheap newcomers in the market. The supply power seems to be moderate because we rely on specialized components that only few suppliers can provide, which can increase the cost pressure. Buying power is high because the hospital and the healthcare providers demand high quality devices at competitive prices. They often negotiate aggressively, reducing the margin potential for our devices. Threat of substitute seems to be moderate because alternative technologies like the non-mechanical medical devices, disposables, the software-based diagnostic may replace our products over the time. The industry rivalry seems to be high because many competing firms offering similar devices intensify the price and the feeds our competition. These forces, particularly buying power, supplier constraint, and intense rivalry, directly contributed to our declining profit margin and shrinking market share. Recognizing this helps to justify why we need both innovation to differentiate and cost control to maintain the competitiveness. Well, ethics and compliance it has to be at any cost the central of our turnaround plan. Firstly, the transparency in pricing and contract with the healthcare providers and suppliers is very essential. We must avoid hidden cost, over-promising, and misleading terms. Second, since we operate in the medical field, patient safety and regulatory compliance cannot be compromised at all. It stays at the top of everything. All devices should meet the standards and quality assurance has to be very rigorous. Third, if we outsource or restructure, potentially reducing headcount, we must, treat the employees fairly, offering retraining where possible, and avoid abrupt layoffs without support. Fourth, if we pursue acquisitions, we must avoid behavior that would be viewed as monopolistic or anti-competitive. Acting ethically safeguards our reputation, protects the patient and clients while also supporting the long-term sustainability. To execute this strategy effectively, each member of the management team will have a very clear role. As a director, I'll oversee the overall plan and monitor the key performance indicators to ensure that we stay on the target. The operation manager will implement the cost reduction initiatives. He will coordinate, outsourcing whenever needed and improve the manufacturing efficiency. The research and development director will lead the innovation efforts like design, development, and testing, or first mover devices. The HR manager will manage retraining programs, new hiring, and ensure the workforce engagement and morale, especially through organizational changes. Well, in order to stay on track and remain ethical and transparent, we'll set up internal audits, periodic reviews of the manufacturing quality, financials, supply relationships, and employee practices will be done. Key performance indicators, KPIs, metrics such as the cost saving, time to market for the new devices, product, defect rates, employee retraining, completion, and employee satisfaction will be measured. Review the meetings regularly, monthly or quarterly meetings will be done in order to review the progress, discuss the ethical concerns, and recalibrate the strategy if there is any need of it. Ethical and compliance hotline reporting mechanism will be there for employees or other stakeholders to raise the concern confidentially if they observe unethical behavior in the company. This structure will provide ongoing, guardrails to ensure that we maintain ethical standards while also pursuing growth and efficiency. Skilled and motivated workforce is essential for innovation and quality. Therefore, we'll launch retraining programs for existing employees to learn the advanced manufacturing techniques, quality control, and medical device compliance standards. We'll hire specialists in the research and development, regulatory compliance, quality assurance, and the sales to fill the capability gaps. Our goal is to raise the workforce technical expertise, reduce the turnover, and boost the productivity and product quality. So we'll be doing the measurement of these factors in a couple of ways. The quantitative measurement will be through the number of employees we trained, reduction in the defect or rejection rates, the percentage of new hires with the specialized skills, improvement in the margin percentage, and the profitability. The qualitative things will be done, through the employee engagement and satisfaction via surveys, the management feedback, the rate of the internal promotions, feedback from the research and development, and the operational teams. Well, these efforts will ensure that we have the right human resources in our company to support the innovation, uphold the compliance, and deliver the high quality products consistently. By employing these initiatives, we expect a stabilized and eventually growing market share as we launch different products and expand our reach, reduced operating and manufacturing costs through outsourcing and process optimization, which also later on improves the profitability over time, a stronger innovation pipeline, which positions us as a credible competitor in the niche medical device market, much like how companies like Zenco disrupted the conventional manufacturing with innovative and lower cost devices. A skilled, ethical, and engaged workforce enabling the sustainable growth and high quality output is what we aim to have. Overall, these all outcomes will build a strong foundation for long-term competitiveness and responsible growth in the medical device industry. Well, in conclusion, adopting a combined offensive and defensive strategy allows us to both protect our current position and pursue the new growth opportunities. Innovation, strategic outsourcing, alliances, and potential acquisitions anchored in ethical conduct and workforce development can form the backbone of the recovery plan. Our vision is very clear to restore our leadership in the electromechanical medical devices sector and deliver high value to the clients, uphold the patient safety, and build a sustainable, ethically sound business. Well, thank you so much for having the patience to listen to me till the end. This is all I have to say. Thank you very much.